Have you ever wondered why that first sip of an ice-cold soda feels like pure bliss? It's not just the flavor. It's a carefully engineered chemical attack on your brain. Inside this bottle lies a hidden reality that makes your bones brittle and turns your liver into a fat storage facility in just weeks. At BioHackPro, we've conducted a deep dive into what the industry giants don't want you to know. In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover why zero versions are even more dangerous, how sugar steals your youth, and exactly what happens inside your veins 60 minutes after that first drop. Watch until the end, because your grocery cart will never look the same again. Let's dive in. To truly understand the scale of what's happening, we need to look at the numbers. A single, standard can of soda contains approximately 39 grams of added sugar. In simpler terms, that is 10 full teaspoons of pure, granulated white sugar. Imagine sitting at your kitchen table and eating 10 spoons of sugar one after another. Your body's natural defense would be to reject it immediately. You would feel nauseous. But soda is engineered to bypass your biology. Manufacturers add high levels of phosphoric acid. This chemical provides that sharp, refreshing zing we love. But its primary job is to neutralize the intense sweetness. It tricks your brain into thinking it's not that much sugar, allowing you to drink the entire can in a matter of seconds. Within the first 20 minutes of consumption, the sugar enters your bloodstream with the force of an avalanche. Your blood glucose levels don't just rise, they skyrocket. This creates an emergency situation for your body. Your pancreas, the command center for blood sugar regulation, is forced into absolute overdrive. It begins pumping out a massive surge of insulin to deal with the sugar. In the biohacking community, we call this the insulin spike, and it's one of the most inflammatory events you can put your body through. But the story gets darker at the 40-minute mark. As the insulin works to clear the sugar, your liver has to decide what to do with the excess energy. Since it can't use it all, it starts a process called de novo lipogenesis. It converts the sugar directly into fat. This isn't just fat on your hips, it's visceral fat that surrounds your vital organs, leading to a condition known as fatty liver disease. At the same time, caffeine absorption is finally complete. Your blood pressure rises, and your liver dumps even more sugar back into your bloodstream in response. Your brain's adenosine receptors, the ones that tell you you're tired, are now completely blocked. You feel a temporary surge of artificial energy and euphoria. You feel unstoppable, but you are effectively living on borrowed time. Your body is already preparing for the inevitable crash that will leave you exhausted, hungry, and craving another hit. But the physiological impact is only one side of the coin. We have to talk about your brain. When that tidal wave of sugar hits your system, it triggers a massive release of dopamine in the nucleus accumbens, the brain's reward center. This is the exact same neural pathway activated by class of drugs. Your brain records this experience as a high-priority survival event, hardwiring a craving that will haunt you hours later. This is why soda is so addictive. It's not a lack of willpower. It's a hijacked neurochemistry. As the 60-minute mark approaches, the party is over. Your blood sugar levels crash. You become irritable, sluggish, and mentally drained. Most people reach for another can just to feel normal again, creating a vicious cycle of biological debt that destroys your metabolic health day by day. You aren't just drinking a soda, you are signing a high-interest contract with your own health. And now, it's time to see what this contract does to the very foundation of your body, your bones, and your internal chemistry. Now, we need to go even deeper into the rabbit hole. Beyond the sugar and the dopamine spikes, there is a silent, microscopic war happening inside your skeletal system and your vital organs. The primary culprit here is phosphoric acid. This isn't just a simple flavor enhancer to give your drink a bite. It is a highly corrosive industrial substance. In fact, phosphoric acid is so potent that it's often used to remove rust from metal. When you pour this into your body, you are creating a massive internal crisis. Your blood must maintain a very specific, delicate pH balance to keep you alive. The moment that acid hits your bloodstream, your body goes into emergency mode to neutralize it. To do this, it needs alkaline minerals. If you haven't eaten a massive pile of green vegetables lately, your body only has one place to find those minerals: your own bones and teeth. It begins a process of biological mining, stripping away calcium, magnesium, and zinc. Over years of regular consumption, this leads to early onset osteoporosis and porous, brittle bones. You are literally drinking away the foundation of your physical structure. But let's look at the teeth. It's not just the sugar that causes cavities, it's the acid that dissolves the enamel, the hardest substance in the human body, within seconds of contact. And as these minerals are leached out of your bones, they have to go somewhere. They end up in your kidneys, forming painful calcium stones that can take weeks of agony to pass. Now, let's talk about the visual deception of soda, caramel color level 4. This is the world's most widely used food coloring, but it has a dark secret. It's produced through an industrial chemical reaction involving ammonia and sulfites under extreme pressure and temperature. This process creates a toxic byproduct called formethylimidazole, or furanate. International health agencies have flagged this compound as a potential carcinogen, and it is known to trigger systemic inflammation throughout your entire vascular system. Moving down to the gut, the carbonation, the very thing that makes the drink feel fresh, is actually pressurized carbon dioxide gas. This gas distends the stomach, forcing the esophageal valve to weaken over time. This leads to chronic acid reflux, slowly scarring the lining of your throat. But even worse is the scorched earth policy this chemical cocktail has on your microbiome. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria that dictate your mood, your sleep, and your immune strength. High fructose corn syrup and chemical preservatives act like a toxic fog, killing off beneficial strains and allowing harmful, inflammation-linked bacteria to take over. You are terraforming your internal world into a wasteland, all for a temporary spark of artificial energy. By now, you might be thinking, okay, the message is clear, sugar is the enemy. I'll just switch to diet or zero sugar versions and keep enjoying the taste without the consequences. This is exactly where the trap closes, and for a biohacker, this is where the real danger begins. In the world of metabolic health, artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame potassium are wolf in sheep's clothing. They are thousands of times sweeter than sugar, but they carry a biological cost that isn't printed on the label. The problem starts the moment the soda touches your tongue. Your brain is hardwired to associate sweet with incoming energy. When those high-intensity sweeteners hit your taste receptors, they send a massive signal to your brain: sugar is coming, prepare the system. In response, your pancreas releases insulin to handle the expected glucose spike. But here's the kicker: the sugar never arrives. This creates a state of total metabolic confusion. You now have high levels of insulin circulating in your blood with nothing to process. This leads to a rapid drop in your actual blood sugar, triggering intense, uncontrollable hunger and cravings for high-calorie carbohydrates later in the day. You aren't avoiding calories, you are simply delaying them and making them harder to resist. Furthermore, we have to look at the neurochemistry of addiction. Regular sugar at least provides a caloric signal that eventually tells the brain we are full. Artificial sweeteners provide the reward without the satiety. This keeps your dopamine receptors in a state of constant craving, never reaching a point of satisfaction. Over time, this desensitizes your palate, making natural foods like fruit taste bland and unsatisfying. You are effectively retraining your brain to only respond to extreme, artificial stimuli. But perhaps the most alarming discovery in recent years is how these chemicals interact with your microbiome. Emerging research suggests that artificial sweeteners can be even more toxic to your gut bacteria than regular sugar. They can actually alter the DNA of your gut flora, promoting the growth of bacteria associated with obesity and glucose intolerance. You think you're saving your metabolism, but you are actually sabotaging your body's ability to regulate energy on a cellular level. The zero on that can doesn't mean zero impact. It means a different kind of biological debt, one that leads to insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and long-term hormonal disruption. You are trading a sugar high for a chemical nightmare, and your body is the one paying the interest. Ultimately, we are talking about more than just calories or weight. We are talking about epigenetics, how these artificial compounds can actually flip the switches of your gene expression. By constantly exposing your system to these synthetic molecules, you are training your cells to become less efficient at processing energy. You are aging your metabolism prematurely, creating a biological environment where chronic disease can thrive. This is the ultimate deception of the beverage industry. They sold us a solution that only deepened the problem. But now that the mask is off, and you've seen the chemical reality, the question isn't what these drinks do to you, it's what you are going to do about it. It's time to talk about the exit strategy. It's time for the transformation. The moment you decide to put down that can, your body begins a miraculous process of self-repair. The human machine is incredibly resilient, provided you give it the right environment. Within the first 24 hours of quitting soda, your taste buds, which have been numbed by extreme sweeteners, start to reset. For the first time in years, natural flavors will begin to taste vibrant again. By day 3, the insulin roller coaster finally comes to a halt. Your blood sugar stabilizes, and the brain fog that has clouded your thinking starts to lift. You will feel a steady, clean energy that doesn't require a caffeine sugar spike. By the end of the first week, systemic inflammation drops significantly. You'll notice it in the mirror. Your skin becomes clearer, the puffiness in your face disappears, and your digestive system starts to function like a well-oiled machine. This is where biohacking truly begins. You aren't just quitting a habit, you are reclaiming your biological autonomy. You are allowing your gut microbiome to heal, repopulating those trillions of beneficial bacteria that regulate your serotonin and your mood. As your insulin sensitivity improves, your body finally gains the ability to burn stored fat for fuel instead of constantly demanding sugar. But let's be realistic. Water can feel boring when your brain is used to a chemical explosion. The BioHackPro approach isn't about suffering, it's about strategic replacement. To bridge the gap, we look to nature's electrolytes. Start with high-quality sparkling mineral water. The carbonation provides that familiar hit to the throat, but without the acid debt. Add a squeeze of fresh lime and a pinch of Celtic sea salt. Why? Because the magnesium and trace minerals in the salt actually help hydrate your cells on a molecular level, whereas soda only dehydrates you. If you crave that fermented kick, look toward kombucha or jun tea. These ancient ferments are rich in organic acids and probiotics that actually repair the damage soda has done to your gut lining. They repopulate the good bacteria, turning your digestive system back into a fortress of immunity. And for those seeking a cognitive boost without the crash, experiment with cold-brewed herbal infusions like hibiscus or yerba mate. These plants are loaded with polyphenols and antioxidants that protect your DNA from oxidative stress, the exact opposite of the cellular rusting caused by high-fructose corn syrup. You aren't just drinking, you are medicating your body with the wisdom of evolution. But let's ask the uncomfortable question: why is this liquid poison available on every corner? The answer lies in the psychological warfare of big-budget marketing. They don't sell you a drink, they sell you a feeling. They sell you happiness, refreshment, and coolness. They spend millions researching the exact bliss point, the perfect ratio of salt, sugar, and carbonation that overrides your brain's natural stop signals. They want you to believe that a life without soda is a life without joy. But as a biohacker, you know better. You know that true joy comes from a brain that isn't inflamed, from a body that isn't struggling to process a toxic load, and from a nervous system that is naturally balanced. By recognizing these marketing tactics, you break the hypnotic spell they've cast on the global population. You are no longer a consumer, you are an observer of a system designed to keep you addicted and profitable. Turning your back on this industry isn't just a health choice, it's an act of rebellion. If you're ready to start, here is your BioHackPro 7-day protocol. For the next 168 hours, your mission is simple: 0 liquid calories, none. On day 1 and 2, expect a headache. This is your brain adjusting to the lack of artificial dopamine and caffeine spikes. Drink twice as much mineral water as usual to flush out the phosphoric acid residues. By day 4, introduce fermented foods to start the gut repair process we discussed. By day 7, monitor your sleep quality. You will find that without the late-night sugar crashes, your REM sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. This 7-day reset is the foundation of your new biological reality. Document your progress, track your energy levels, and notice how your mental clarity returns. You are reclaiming the driver's seat of your own evolution. This journey doesn't end here. The transformation you are about to experience is just the first step in unlocking your full human potential. We have so much more to decode, from sleep optimization to cellular longevity. You have the knowledge, you have the tools, and now, you have the community. Subscribe to BioHackPro. Join our movement, and let's rebuild your biology together. The old you is fading away with every sip of clean water you take. Stay focused, stay resilient, and above all, stay sharp. I'm BioHackPro, and I'll see you in the next chapter of your transformation. Final choice: water. Evolution. Success.